What does it truly mean to be American in 2025? From the vision of the Founding Fathers to the complexities of today's society, American identity has never been a static concept. Instead, it's a living, breathing tapestry, constantly woven and rewoven by the hands of countless individuals, shaped by hope, struggle, and the relentless pursuit of something greater. The American dream is a myth. Or is it? To answer that question, we must unravel the historical forces that have shaped and reshaped the narrative of who we are, from the early settlers to the modern melting pot. Who are we, and where did we come from? As we journey through American history, we'll discover how our own personal stories are inextricably tied to the nation's ongoing evolution. Let's begin at the very foundation of the American story. The colonial era. In the early 1600s, European colonists arrived on the shores of what would become the United States. They encountered a land inhabited for thousands of years by diverse indigenous peoples, each with their own rich cultures, traditions, and histories. The arrival of these newcomers set the stage for a profound transformation. Colonists brought with them not only European values and beliefs, but also ambitions, fears, and the drive to carve out a new society, often at great cost to the native populations. The establishment of the first permanent English settlement at Jamestown in 1607 marked the beginning of a complex relationship between colonists and indigenous peoples. For Native Americans, colonization brought displacement, disease, and conflict. For the colonists, the New World promised freedom and opportunity, but also hardship, uncertainty, and the necessity of forging a distinct identity apart from Europe. Over time, the colonies became laboratories for new ideas about self-governance, religious freedom, and individual rights. The seeds of American identity were planted in this crucible, a society grappling with the contradictions between lofty ideals and harsh realities. As the colonies grew and prospered, tensions with the British Crown mounted. Issues of taxation, representation, and autonomy fueled a growing desire for independence. The Revolutionary War was not just a military struggle, but an existential crisis. What kind of nation would emerge from the ashes? The Founding Fathers crafted a vision rooted in liberty, equality, and self-determination. Yet even as the Declaration of Independence proclaimed that all men are created equal, the reality was far more complicated. Enslaved Africans, dispossessed Native peoples, and many others were excluded from this new national identity. The birth of the United States was both a bold experiment and a deeply flawed beginning, a paradox that continues to shape our sense of self. As the young nation expanded, waves of immigrants began to arrive on its shores. Each group brought unique languages, customs, and dreams, adding new threads to the American fabric. The 19th and early 20th centuries saw millions arrive from Ireland, Germany, Italy, China, Eastern Europe, and beyond. For many, America represented a beacon of hope, a place where hard work and determination could lift them out of poverty and oppression. The idea of the American dream took root, the belief that regardless of one's origins, anyone could succeed through perseverance and grit. But the reality was never simple. Immigrants often faced discrimination, suspicion, and exploitation. They were asked to assimilate, to shed their old identities and embrace a new, uniquely American persona. The image of America as a melting pot became popular, a place where differences were supposed to blend into a harmonious whole. Yet beneath the surface, tensions simmered. What did it really mean to be American? Was it a matter of birthplace, language, religion, or something deeper? A shared commitment to ideals like freedom, equality, and opportunity. The 20th century brought these questions to the forefront as social movements challenged and redefined the boundaries of American identity. The Civil Rights Movement, led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and countless others, shattered the illusion of racial equality and demanded real change. The fight for civil rights exposed the deep wounds left by slavery, segregation, and systemic discrimination, a legacy that still echoes today. Through nonviolent protest, legal challenges, and tireless activism, African Americans and their allies forced the nation to confront its contradictions and move closer to its founding ideals. The women's rights movement similarly challenged the status quo, pushing for gender equality in every sphere of life. From the suffragists who won the right to vote in 1920 To the feminists who fought for workplace equality, reproductive rights, and an end to gender-based violence, women have played a critical role in redefining what it means to be American. Their struggles have opened doors for future generations, while also reminding us that the journey toward equality is ongoing. More recently, the LGBTQ+ rights movement has expanded the boundaries of inclusion, demanding recognition, respect, and legal protection for all Americans, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. The path has been marked by both triumphs and setbacks, from the Stonewall riots to the legalization of same-sex marriage. Each victory has helped to broaden the definition of American identity, making space for those who were once marginalized or silenced. Today, American identity is more diverse and complex than ever before. The United States is a nation of immigrants, a mosaic of cultures, languages, and traditions. The growing recognition of America's multicultural heritage is reshaping how we see ourselves and each other. Yet this diversity also brings new challenges. How do we reconcile the injustices of the past with our aspirations for a more equitable future? How do we build a shared sense of belonging in an era of deep political and social divisions? The debate about what it means to be American is ongoing, and often contentious. Some cling to traditional notions of national identity rooted in language, religion, or ancestry. Others argue for a more inclusive, pluralistic vision, one that celebrates difference as a source of strength. The tension between unity and diversity is not new, but it has taken on renewed urgency in the face of globalization, technological change, and shifting demographics. Looking ahead, the future of American identity will be shaped by forces we can only begin to imagine. Technology and globalization are connecting us to the wider world and changing how we communicate, work, and interact. Social media amplifies both our divisions and our commonalities, creating new spaces for dialogue, but also new risks of misunderstanding and conflict. At the same time, the challenges of climate change, economic inequality, and global migration demand new forms of cooperation and solidarity. Yet, amid all this change, the core values that have animated the American experiment endure. The belief in freedom, equality, and the pursuit of happiness remains a powerful force, inspiring people from all walks of life to seek a better future, for themselves, for their families, and for their communities. The task before us is to honor this legacy by building a society that lives up to its highest ideals, one that embraces diversity, confronts injustice, and celebrates the unique tapestry of American culture. Ultimately, what it means to be American is not defined by any single moment or group. It is a story of constant evolution, a journey shaped by the struggles, hopes, and dreams of millions. As we look to the future, we each have a role to play in shaping the next chapter of this unfolding story. By remembering where we came from, confronting the challenges of the present, and imagining a more inclusive and equitable tomorrow, we can ensure that the American identity remains as vibrant and dynamic as the people who call this nation home.